my presentation basically will just narrow into a few thematic areas that you covered in the morning. That is on IQCs, possible third-party QCs, some are recommended, and at least one point of care that I have a passion for. When we talk about IQC, I think the most important thing is to know that these are our internal processes, our internal procedures that are basically done in-house to continuously and concurrently assess the laboratory work that we are doing. And most of all is that when we talk about quality, I think the design quality in our labs should be done basically on the front end, not on the back end, because it's from this that informs us then how we proceed and the quality of what we have. And basically, when we talk about QCs in the lab, this actually involves, again, systematic monitoring of analytical processes in order to at least detect analytical errors that occur during analysis of our different scopes of tests in our labs. Again, to ultimately prevent the reporting of incorrect patient test results, because at the end of our testing, then these results are guiding diagnosis. They are helping monitor disease progress or treatment outcome. And then most of all is that when we do these IQCs or QCs at large, they are giving us an assurance of the quality of the examination results that we are running. The other thing that I found necessary to just talk about is the foundation of reliable lab results. And I'm hoping it's clear. So I'll just mention 5 things. This is to assure accuracy and reliability of our lab results and ensure they meet the standards before being released. Definitely, if we have an issue with our QCs, we have a fallback to ensure that as we start processing samples during the day, then we are assured of the accuracy and reliability of our results. Again, the other foundation of this is to have a proactive quality design. This has to be inbuilt as a process from the start, not just to check at the end. And that's why we normally say when we talk about quality, it's a forerun of the activities that we do in the lab. The other foundation that is quite key is to ensure that the lab has the lab designed policies just to ensure that we are not just doing this, or we are not just implementing these policies as an accreditation bare minimum, right? Then the other thing about QCs is to support better patient care, because once we release these results either to the clinicians, consultants, or the MOs, they are either going to read a diagnosis, they're either going to read a treatment outcome or a disease progression. Again, this is to support when we run QCs, again, we are doing we are driving continuous improvement of our what we are doing in the lab. And this, of course, this fuels quality of what we are doing. When we look at a few principles of IQCs, number 1 is to verify results quality. Number 2 is to use control materials that are different from calibrators. And then a preference for third-party controls, but with a caveat that we should consider commutability. Again, to establish our own mean and ranges. And this is whereby with a passion of quality, when I go out there and we have a discussion with the users, sometimes, and this is provided for most of the softwares we are using to run, for example, our biochemistry machines or our immunoassay machines. What should be known to us is that there is that allowance that the values in terms of mean and ranges given by the manufacturer, most of our softwares allow us to adjust based on our measured mean, right? But then what I normally advise the users is to still maintain uh, the range of the manufacturer. So as much as you adjust, just be sure to also adjust the entire range. Again, the other principle is to ensure that we define acceptable control limits. And then lastly, focus on the root cause analysis if we have errors related to quality that might affect ultimate sample results. When we talk about QC again, it's good to have documenting and managing an effective QC plan. First and foremost, as a lab team, have a detailed QC planning where you consider your defined QC levels, the frequency of running these QCs. And when we talk about the frequency, these are very particular because it's not the patient who is paying up for calibration and QCs. It's a it's an internal cost that has to be well managed. So as much as there are recommendations, then the frequency must be an internally um, thought thought action, so that you also mitigate your cost vis-a-vis ensuring that you also meet the accreditation minimums, right? The other thing is also to, if you prefer independent QCs, then aside from what QCs are provided by most manufacturers, then there should be a consideration for that. Like the previous slide, the other thing is the lab should specify the mean for a particular test or analyte, as well as the SD that we are going to observe. And this takes us back again to the QC rules. It's important again for particular analyte, look at what QC levels you are looking at. Some have 1, some have 2, and I think for some of our manufacturers, providers up to 4 levels. Again, apply statistical QC rules. Westgard is the most used. The other action is an out of control events. Then how do you monitor these, investigate or do root cause analysis, and then how do you resolve your QC failures? Is it a system? Is it a calibration issue? Is it an unstable QC material that you're using? Then this has to be a team effort. Then again, for the materials you are using, ensure system stability. Now, after looking at those few points, I know the affair here mostly will be all about quality and etc. Then it's looking at what solutions does ChemLabs have. First and foremost, for most of our platforms out there, most of the platforms and solutions that we give come from human diagnostics. Human diagnostics by nature, they provide us with array of solutions in terms of equipment, reagents. Hand in hand, they also provide quality control materials, and we will look at these later on. We have why human controls for most of the analytes that we are using. Is it from hematology, biochemistry, most recently immunoassays? There is HumaClear, there is HumaFear, and probably we'll discuss these again and again. We are looking at, for human, there is a broad portfolio for the QCs that they provide us, and these are the solutions we reach out to you with. We have chemistry, we have hematology controls, we have coagulation, we have HbA1c, we have controls for electrolytes, we also have controls for turbidimetric tests and others. The QCs are also compatible with multi-analyzers and platforms. Means that they do not just confine you to only the analyzers that your man provide. The other most important thing, and this I say with a lot of confidence, that, for example, when you look at the shelf life for hematology QCs, for now, it's not like it used to be. From production to expiry, even after opening, I think this is something that we can today pride about. The other most important thing is the cost effectiveness. The packaging are small, and therefore the cost is friendly. The other most important thing through the external quality programs is the QCs plus the platforms through hookers. They support peer group comparisons. Going to the scope of the available IQC materials, we start with hematology. Hematology controls, we have at least for both 3-part analyzers, 5-part analyzers, we have at least 3 levels. That is low, normal, and high, with a stability of 6 and 3 months respectively. So again, whatever else they provide for hematology analyzers are stable calibrators. And we have calibrators for both 3-part analyzers and 5-part analyzers. And calibrators is also good to note that they come with definite values for the measured analytes. Measured parameters. Let me just correct that. When we talk about biochemistry, again, we are looking at least 4 available matrix. And for most of the team here that is using the human analyzers, biochemistry, I'm talking about Hematrol N and P, Serodose, and Serodose Plus. That's what we are calling at least 4 available matrix. All these controls come in lyophilized powder form. They are stable till expiry, as long as they are stored at 2 to 8 degrees. Once they are reconstituted with the ionized water as per the volume recommended, then you can do early quotes, and then these early quotes frozen at -20, they should be available and stable for use for at least 30 days. It's also good to mention that Serodose and Serodose Plus, some of the QC materials that are provided by human, lyophilized human serum. Humatrol P and Humatrol N are lyophilized bovine sourced serum. And that is the packaging that they come in. They are also packed in small portions to ensure that you don't reconstitute everything, at least for biochemistry up to 5 mLs reconstitution for each of the vials available. Again, when we talk about coagulation, we have at least 3 levels. We have at least 2 levels. Here we are looking at a normal and abnormal. They are again available in lyophilized powder form, stable till expiry, and while stored at 2 to 8. Then on reconstitution, and this is important to note, for coagulation, they are reconstituted with just 1 ml to ensure that it's also a small volume, and they should not be frozen for coagulation. And that's why the packaging should be as small as it is. We also have immunoassay IQCs provided for by SNIBE, which is also a partner that we deal with the equipments which are immunoassay platforms, fully automated. Um, their IQCs, it's important to note that they come in a range of between 1 up to 4 levels available. All their IQCs for SNIBE, they are ready for use and they are actually incorporated in the kit itself. Now, the stability is what has been quite an advantage for us. If these are not opened and stored at 2 to 8, they are stable for 12 months. While opened, they are at 2 to 8, they are stable for 1.5 months, 6 weeks. While opened and stored at room temperature, they are stable for 6 hours. If they are divided in aliquots, again, they are stable for up to 90 days. Now, the recommendation from SNIBE is that if you're using these as IQCs for those who have those platforms, then these you can actually freeze and thaw, but not more than 3. From SNIBE, we also have what we call third-party controls, and third-party controls are available for multi-parameters. For example, we have tumor marker controls up to 3 levels. Stable until expiry. Once reconstituted, then you can actually aliquot these and freeze them at negative 20, stable as the previous slide. We also have third-party recommended QC for immunoassays. This is from SNIBE. They recommend the use of Biorad LifoCheck. I know there are some of you who are using this and as such. Now, for the point of care, we'll just look at blood gas only. And very fast, this is a point of care that is very key for ICUs, operating theaters, some emergency ward, emergency response and ambulatory services, and of course, places with limited resource setup. So our blood gas analyzer also provides blood gas controls. The variable is that they come into either up to 3 levels. They also incorporate at least 2 levels of hematocrit parameters. Then it's also important to note that they are packaged in ampules ready for use. The stability of the blood gas QCs that we provide are stable for 12 months from the date of production. I don't want to critically look at the importance of the blood gas test, but the blood gas test is critical for patient physiology, assess respiratory function, and monitor acid-base balance or status. They also guide oxygen therapy and ventilation settings, and also as a rapid tool for trauma care. Now, the blood gas analyzer that we provide is a handheld and portable both blood gas and electrolyte analyzer. It's a compact, easy to use, giving fast results within 4 minutes, uses multi-parameter single-use test cards. I think the other most important thing, reliable data storage, because it has a separate module for samples and QCs. Now, the other most important thing about this blood gas analyzer is it has an intuitive feature. Now, the other most important thing, it can integrate through your LIMS at the facilities, because you can plug it in. It's Wi-Fi enabled, means that you can integrate it so that it can send your results seamlessly. Measured parameters vis-a-vis the calculated parameters, it's able to give you at least 12 measured parameters and at least up to 22 parameters, both calculated and both measured and calculated. I think the other most ideal thing about this blood gas, which is a point of care machine, is its use involves just 3 steps where you add your sample, which is about 100 microliters, close and insert your cartridge onto the blood gas analyzer, and then you wait for about 4 minutes to get your results. Now, the beauty of this is that this point of care also provides a printout for you. As small as it is, it's a handheld, but it has a thermal printer, so it gives you the results for the blood gas. I just took time to look at the point of care because there was a thematic presentation about point of care. Unless there is any question on IQCs, calibrators for um, all those sections that we have looked at, I want to yield the floor and thank you so much.